Okay, let's start with the Linux 101 session. Okay, so I'm in a Kali Linux desktop. So you can do the same practicals with me. You can use either a Kali box, I think, which is very familiar to most of you, or you can use another Debian-based flavor, something like Ubuntu. So you can go to ubuntu.com and you can find out the desktop version, and you can download it and you can install it in a virtual machine, or you can install it as barebone. That's one option. And or you can even install the Debian flavor, which is like the original format. So Ubuntu is also Debian based, so you can get the operating system downloads or downloaded from here. You can start, or else you can, if you're looking for a more user-friendly operating system, you can go and get Mint. It should be Mint OS. Right. So if you go to linuxmint.com, you can find out the OS there. So it's more like Windows, which is more user-friendly. So you can use any of those. So there's no problem of using any of those Linux distributions. And if you want to use what I'm using, you have to go to Kali Linux. If you search for Kali Linux in Google, you can go to kali.org. Either you can download an ISO file, or you can obviously download a VM image, either to use from VMware, or you can download the VM that is created for VirtualBox. So all these options are available. And yeah, so if you can try out what is convenient to you, that would work. Or there's a last option. If you know Docker, you can install it on Docker as well. And there's one other option, which is you can do Windows WSL, Windows subsystem for Linux. So that is also quite easy these days. If you're using a Windows box, so that is one of the best options for you. So if you can read this Microsoft doc, so you have all the information here, and even, yes, there's a direct link and a video and about the information about what is WSL. So yeah, so whatever convenient you can use, right? Okay, let's start. So I have this folder, let me go there. Right, so initially I think we all have to understand like how do you move in these terminals. So of course we have learned earlier as well, ls would list down things, and then if you want to know where you are, you can do pwd, and currently I am in this particular directory in this particular path. All right, so if I wanted to go back, if I would say cd change directory ... right, and I'm in desktop, right? So I can do verify it by saying pwd. And you have to learn the art of learning. So in any problem, if you have any issue, you can always refer to the man page, right? Manual page. So you can do man if you want to. So it will explain what is this manual page and the options you have, right? So as you can see, there's a lot of things here. Yes, and also there are sections also in your manual pages, right? So there's man 1, 2, 3, likewise it goes on. So when time comes, we can even look into those areas as well. But remember, it's always good to work with manual pages because you will learn things easily, right? And also you would know how to do things better. So as an example, if you don't know what is pwd, so you can do man pwd. So it will explain, that is print the name of current directory. And of course, then very important, there are a few options that you can use. So as an example, you can give the flag capital L to check these things called symlinks. And even this, the author's name is there, and some bugs if there's any available. So this is not really a difficult command, but if you do man ls, which is a very common command, list directory, so you have few options, minus simple a or flag a, flag capital A, and of course there are so many other options, as you can see, right? Long list format, and there's one which normally a lot of people don't use, but one called H, which is for human readable format. So yeah, so remember it always. And if you have a cluttered screen, you can do clear your desktop. I think Control Ed also would work. Yeah, Control in your, even though I'm using a Mac in my host, but still it works. So get used to work with the key combinations, because that will be very valuable. So when you're learning Linux, it's always good to work with the keyboard. Even though you have a mouse, you rarely use as a mouse, right? So that is something very common in Linux platform. Yes, for everything you have option, right? So as an example, if you want to get the previous commands, up arrow key would do that, right? So even you are in a very kind of a long, uh, long command. You can say control and then the arrow, you can jump, right? So yeah, so you can see even I can resize my window using just different keys. So the thing is this, you don't have to worry too much about how do I learn all this at a single go. It's not the case, but it'll come eventually, stage by stage, right? So what is more important is practice it, right? Practice it. Okay, so let's move on. So now we have learned few things, right? And also remember always that you can use your key combinations, right? And then there are few commands that is very important. So we'll always start with the command called cat, right? So now we have learned ls minus al to list down all the directories or files, and you can do ls minus alh to weave it more human friendly way. As you can see, it says 4096. It doesn't mean much, right? So if you get 4K, you know it's 4K storage. The size 4K you understand, or 4 MB you understand, right? So let me go to the root, and you can see a lot of files. If I do a ls minus al, again, you don't really understand what are these values. So if you do a ls minus or flag, I use the term minus, but flag would be better. Yeah, now we can see 36K and onwards, right? So it's much easier that way, right? If you want to go to home, you can always say home. So I was in Kali. Yeah, so as you can see, when I go there, even my prompt changes to the tilde. When you're at the root, it changes to something else. So if you are in the desktop, you can see it changes to desktop, right? So this is the shell that I'm using is called, if I try to echo it, there's another cool command called echo, right? So if I use this system variable called shell, you can see I'm in this shell called ZSH, right? But I can move to other shells like bash, or I can go to sh, or there's some born again shell. So there are so many other shells as well. But I do use this shell called ZSH, which is more convenient to me, which is a bit of an interesting shell as well. Right, so let's see how to work with the cat. So I always will go to the man page. So it's about concatenating files and print the standard output. So whatever a file which is available, you can see or send it to the standard output. You can always use the cat option. And obviously, as you can see, there are so many other options that you can use with this, right? So You don't have to get bombarded with any of those things, but you understand it's always easy to go to the manual page and try things out. As an example, right, you can get say something like number all output lines. So you can use something like -n or flag n. So let's first do something like this. Cats, we can do a cat. So we have a password file which is in this directory called etc. Right. So now you can see I can put it to the standard output, everything that is there in that file. So obviously you don't find the passwords, but you get password information here. And I can use now the same command with flag n and see what is going to happen. Now, okay, you have the numbers there as well. Right. So that is basically what cat does. And if you really want to have a bit of a fun, so let me go to my directory here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the password file info and I'm going to redirect it. So use this greater than sign for redirect input. So whatever the output created by the cat I can put it to a text file. So I would say password dot text. So this is very common in Linux. So once you do that, you can see a password. This file is created. Now I can cat what is there. So you can see things inside. And of course, you can use other editors to edit it. So I can use either Vim or Nano. For me, like the choice is Vim, but Nano is also another very powerful editor. Apart from that, of course, we have other visual editors like gedit, which have not been installed. Or there's this other editor here, as you can see, something called mousepad. So I can even open this direct document using mousepad. As you can see, it's a UI editor. You can do all this stuff which you normally can do in Windows like Notepad, but I normally don't like those editors, right? So if you want, you can do Vim. So we can talk a bit later about Vim. Yeah, so probably on previous sessions, probably have talked a bit about it, but yes, it's okay. Right. So now we know the cat command, and remember, cat is quite useful to print something out to the screen, right? And there are so many other usage of cat. Normally, cat will be working with some other commands or other methods, so it will be much useful in that way. All right. So let's move on. Now, when you do this command called ls-al, you always get these entries, which is a bit odd, like a dot file or a double dot. So these are hidden files. So even you can open these files as well. Later on, we can look more details into it. But let me go to my home directory. So I'm actually in the user called Kali. Even if you go to the prompt here, you can even see I'm in the Kali login, right? So if I do ls-al here, it's a bit a lengthy list that I'm getting. So as you can see, there are a lot of dot files. As you can see, remember I'm in the, let me show it again. I'm in the home directory, right? home-Kali. So at this computer, or the computer that I'm working with, there's only one user, which is Kali. Later on, we'll create another user. So in Windows, you log in from your own username. That is the user, right? So yeah, similar to this. So if you do, this is the home. I would say the home login or the location. So if you do a normal ls, you see the basic things: desktop, documents, downloads, and few other directories which I created, and normal default default directories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ls-al. So when you say -a or flag A, it will print out all the hidden directories as well. So as you can see, there are a lot of things like wget, xauthority, xsession, zsh history. Okay, later on we'll have a look at it. So that is some documents which is related to my shell. The shell that I'm using is zsh, like I told you. And also there's some other ones here, bash also. So bash also is another shell. So if you're using bash, okay, that history will be, or that information will be in these documents. So let me open up this thing called ZSH history, which is interesting. I can cat it, of course, cat. I can say ZSH history. So now what you are seeing here is what I have typed throughout my usage of this computer, right? So I've been using this shell for a very long time, not very in the sense like not like years, but a few weeks. But there are so many commands that I have typed in, as you can see, so many commands, right? So all that is there in the history. So it's very interesting to see, like, say, if you want, you can clear all these things very easily. But all that will be there. And if you want to search for something, any command, there is an easy way of doing that. That is this whole output or whole thing can be then put to another command or sent to another command. That is very common in Linux. So there are two ways you can do that. One is this. The other one is called a pipe. Maybe we have talked about this a bit earlier as well, right? So, so there are two ways. So like I said earlier, you can do this one, the greater than sign, you can redirect it or you can pipe it. So pipe is a symbol that you find in the right corner of your keyboard. Most probably, if it is a Windows keyboard, probably after the backspace or bottom of the backspace. And if it is a Mac keyboard, probably after or back of delete key, right? Yeah, so that's how it works. And you have to use the shift to print it. And then I can do a grep and I can search for something. So as an example, if I do a command called print, so I can do that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so you can see it shows some of those things. Yeah, few of those things, right? Okay, so we can use them later. So, but remember what we use right now, because you can open your even the dot files or these hidden files, and you can work on them, right? Okay, and then there's a very interesting command as well in ls. Now here you are in Kali. So now at a point I might like to know what are the directories in kind of a nested level, because in a UI you would find it very interesting. So let me move to my desktop. Then I have few folders here, directories here. So if you like to see the view of that, so let me open it from UI. So this is my desktop. So I have this home directory and the Linux 101 and binary exploitation. So that's what I'm using here. So if I wanted to see the directory, subdirectories at once, right, I can use a command, very interesting command called the flag L to list, and you can say H to do human readable way, and a capital R to recursively print. So what they show is, as you can see here, I know it's not a very nice view, but still I can see. Go to the, yeah, you go here. So this is where I issued the command. So it shows first the two directories, and inside binary exploitation directory, so you have several other directories, as you can see, right? And when you move to the first directory, which is assembly, so let me show it from here as well. So if you go to binary exploitation, I have several directories, assembly, snake ASM, and you go images. So likewise, it's a long list. So same here. So you can see all those directories are listed. So this flag capital R is a very powerful tool, guys. So always remember, this can be used many places. So as an example, for removal of a file, right? So if I wanted to remove a file in my Linux directory, so this one, so I can use rm and say password.txt, it will just remove it. And if I wanted to recursively remove so many other files in a directory, so I can use -r, flag R. So probably later on we can look at something along that line. Right. So then there's another interesting command called touch. So if you do the man page, so this is a very common thing. Now, if you want to learn a new command, you always look at the manual page. So touch is if you want to change the file timestamp. Now, this is this is the original usage of touch. So if you wanted to touch a file, meaning you touch that file, so now that file got updated. So that's the real reason behind it. But you know, this you use it for multiple reasons. So one of the other reasons why you would use it, even say you don't have a file, so let me touch it. I would say I want to do a hello.txt. So now, because the file does not exist, it actually creates the file. So there's nothing in the file, but you know, if you do a ls minus al, you can see, or if you do a ls minus lh, so that would do. So you can just see the file, and now the file was created. So sorry, this is not the right time. Yeah, for the people who are logged in live. So this is 7:22. That is on 28. So that's the time is a bit wrong, but still the idea is now you can see. Now this is the time it was created. So now see after, say now it's 7:23. If I do the same command, ls minus ls, so you can see it was created here. But now if I do a touch again, so this is the interesting part. Now if you go and check, yeah, so see the timestamp was updated. So this is quite useful. Say if you do in security, if you do forensics and all that, at one point, if you want to realize who accidentally, or sorry, who accessed that file in a given point, yeah, so you can identify it using the timestamp. So the touch can be used to do some of the experiments with that. Right. So I hope it's clear. Right. So similarly, I think I earlier also mentioned about the redirection, and also echo can be a great tool. So as an example, I can print anything using echo, like cat. But the only problem is cat, you cannot create content. It's all about weaving whatever available. But echo is another command which you can write whatever you want to. And then again, you can redirect it, right? Now we have hello.txt, that we say hello2.txt, so that we can do, right? So now if you go and check cat the hello2.txt, you can see the hello which I printed here is added to that text file. So because of that, in many ways, the echo file, sorry, echo command can be quite useful, right? And this is very powerful as well, right? You can do a lot of powerful commands with this, right? So later on, you will see there are so many options available, or so many things that you can do in the Linux platform with echo command. Right. So earlier also I mentioned about RM. So I haven't checked the manual page. So it's remove files or directories. So you can force some. Sometimes if they say, okay, you are not allowed to do it, you can always force. And there are other options like recursive. So if you have multiple directories, you can use recursive. So let's look at a option like this. Now say I can do make directory like this. So I can say 1, 2, 3. Okay, so sorry, I had to first do 1 and go inside. Let me check mkdir 1, 2. Yeah, can do. Mkdir 1, 2, and 3. Right. Okay. Now, if you really look at this, let me show it through the desktop. It's a bit more interesting. 1, 2, 3. So 3 directories in 3 different levels. Right. Let me go and check now. So if you wanted to delete one, so I can say rm1, but you can, it says rm cannot remove one is a directory. So let me check with dash r. Yeah, so it removed everything. If you go and check, there's no 1, there's no 2, there's no 3. Everything is removed. So this recursive or flag capital R is a very powerful command. right? And also you have another remove option called remove dir, right? That's another command, so which is available in Linux. So there are so many commands available in Linux, yeah, which you can use. And now if you want to say rename this hello2.txt to hello3.txt, right? So of course there are so many ways to do it. One way is copy hello2.txt to hello3.txt. That is one way of doing that. But the thing is, we want to just rename it. So we have actually 3 now. So ideally, you have to now remove hello2.txt, so because we don't need it anymore. Now we have the renamed done because hello3.txt is there. Say I want to do the same thing much easier. So I can do move hello.txt. I want to rename now is hello4.txt. So it's basically renaming. So now see, it's one single step. I can get it done without writing 2 commands. So please remember, these are very useful options. Right, so let me add few things to hello4.txt. Let me add ABC, XYZ, something like that. I will send it to hello4.txt. Right, so let me open this from now the nano editor, nano, right, hello4.txt. So as you can see, you can go here and basically write whatever you want to, right? And now, as you can see in the down, there are a few options. Now exit. So that's this hat sign. So actually the hat is referring to control, right? So if you do a control X, so it asks save modified, I would say yes, done, right? So again, we'll open it. So then similarly, there are other things like if you wanted, you can read a file, you can go to a particular location. And so this control, or you can go to line, say, if I want to go to a particular line, I would say control and backslash. So I can go to the 4th line. So yes. And likewise, there are so many options in Nano. So if I do a control G, I can get all the help options. So as you can see, there are a lot of things, right? So you can have MU, ME, last operations, and go back 1 character, go forward 1 character, go back 1 word. So there's so much of options, right? Go to previous line. So let me do L and a Q, right? So if I want to get control tab, so I can go tab wise. So many options. P for the previous, N for the next. So remember, so this is where you have to understand in Linux, we don't use the mouse pointer. We always use as the keyboard. So let me go out of this. And similarly, we have Vim editor. I think we have talked about this. So here also there are a lot of options. So if you can do a colon and say set number, right? So you can get the numbers. Or there are so many other things set if you go and press tab. So there are so many options, as you can see, right? So many options here. You can't even imagine. You might wonder like how many options are available here. See, yeah. So auto write all. So all these things are there, guys. So right. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but Vim itself can be created as a very powerful editor, like even Visual Studio IDE. So sorry, not editor, but IDE. Yes, all these options are available, right, in these Linux editors. All right. So now we have talked about the basic commands, several of them, and we talked about editors as well. Right, so now we'll move into Linux permissions. So we are going into quite a new area, but it's again a very useful and very important area as well, because you have to know how to deal with permissions. So in Linux, there are several ways of setting up permissions. So let me first check for a file. If I do ls-a and then L, so you can see, so if you get these 2 documents, as you can see, hello3.txt and hello4.txt, Now we can see a lot of details here. So first, some information which says dash rw dash r dash dash r dash dash likewise, and then some number, then Kali again, and then 6, and then a date and onwards. So of course the first one here, the Kali is the user, which is my user login, and then the group. So the group is also Kali. So I can later on add a separate user and see the difference, right? So I can even try that one. Let me check how to add a user. User add. Yeah, so create a new user, update default new user information. So it says, okay, see command D home directory. So there's a lot of options, but I'm not going to do any of those. Let me see. Maybe I had to use sudo command. Sudo is when you don't have permissions. So let me add me. Okay, see that I cannot do that. So I had to do sudo. Right. So the password I will type in. Yeah. So that would create that user Lakmal. So where is this user? Right. So that's the most important to understand. So let me ls, that is the list, what's in the home directory now. Okay, now still the thing is this user is not being added to the home directory. So it's just the user is added, but no information is provided. But let me check whether I can move to Lakmal. So even I have not given the password, so it might stop me from doing it, right? But yes, so that's the thing. So let me check by using a default password, which is not. Right, so let me have to let's do some search, right? How to do this properly. Okay, so let's go to Google. How to add a user in say, you can say Debian, Ubuntu. We can say Ubuntu. The right way to say is Debian, but okay, we'll go with Ubuntu. So this is also another thing that you should learn. You don't have to worry too much most of the time because there's a lot of help outside. Right. So let's see how to get it done. So yeah, so you have to say sudo add user username, and yeah, so that will ask several questions. So it didn't ask from us, but let's see. Yeah, so what they're saying, let's see whether will be prompted. Let me check sudo. Okay, so let me do that again. Already exists. So let me check whether we have using the right command altogether. Okay, so it's not, it should be add user. Let me check what I have typed in. Okay, use add. So that's the problem. So we'll use the add user method, which is more convenient. So this time I will use some other user, maybe Prabhat. Okay, so that seems to be doing the trick. So new password, I will use something. Okay, so password updated successfully, changing the user information to Prabhat. Enter the new value. Okay, full name. Okay, I'll say Lakmal Singha. Room number. Oops. Okay, I would say 101. Work phone 0890. Home phone 0891. And I don't need anything. Is this information correct? Yes. Okay, so that would do. So now let me check ls, the root. Okay, so not the root, but the home directory. So I can see Prabhat there. So that's all what I wanted to do. Let me check with Prabhat now. So I want to give the password, which I'm not going to give you. Yes, guys. So now I'm logged in as Prabhat Kali. Probably this guy doesn't have a lot of permissions. So let me check, where am I? So I'm here. I don't know whether I can just quickly create a file, touch by lakmal.txt, so or prabhat.txt, prabhat.txt. So just to prove a point, let's see. Oh, permission denied. So let me do sudo. So don't know whether, so password for Prabhat, we trust received usual lecture from local system administrator. So you should never do that, but still, let's see. Okay, Prabhat is not a sudo's file, the incident will be reported. Okay, so they are not allowing me to do it. So I think I had to go to the directory of Prabhat. So then I can check that. I can do that. Touch a new by Prabhat.txt. Okay, that's fine. So now let me change to Kali. So okay, all good. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my directory, Kali directory. Right. Let me do a ls, ls minus al to make it better. Prabhat. Okay, so all good. Now, as you can see, so there are a lot of files here. Root is the owner, right? And the root is the group, and all the other files, as you can see, not Kali. This is Prabhat's files. If I do I will remove the A, I don't want the hidden files. So you know there's one created by Prabhat. So that is the user Prabhat, right? So now we know that. Okay, now you go to our folder. So I'm in Linux, right? So when I do lsl, as you can see, I think Kali and Kali. Then what about these values or these characters? So you can see a pattern, of course. You see R, a W, and a dash or a flag, as we said, and a R, two flags, R, two flags. Let me do something fun. I would explain this later. I'm going to change some of these permissions of hello3.txt. Now see what's going to happen. So I'm going to put 777 here, and now see at the moment is RW RR. So I'm going to enter this. Now I'll do ls minus l. So now we can see color also change in the file, and then obviously there's this RWX, 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 right? So what is that? So let's try to understand this. It's nothing big. So the thing is, these are set of parameters, right? So the first three characters would be related to the user, Kali. Second three characters are related to the group. So Kali is in the group called Kali. So I can be in the root group. So I'm a very powerful user, but I'm not. And then all the others, right? So again, the first three characters for the user, second three characters for the group, last three characters for all others, anybody. In Windows also, you have very similar thing. So then what are those letters? R, W, X. So R means read, W means write, X means executable, right? So let's do a change now. I'm going to change this. So chmod is the change mode. I can do changes. Now the thing is this, there are these values. So 4 is read, W, 2 is write, and X is 1. So 1 is X. Sorry, I did confuse it too. Let me do it. I do a vim modes, right? So let me write it for you guys. A 4 is basically the number to say you can write something. And then 2 is the value you try to say you can. Sorry, this is read, write, execute. No, so this is read. Sorry, this is read. Only read. Right, read. And then write. And the value 1 is execute. Right. So basically, if I use 4444, sorry, 444. So if I use the command chmod, change mode 4, right? 4 and 4, meaning user can write, group can write, anybody else also can write. Sorry. User can read, group can read, anybody else can read. If I say 2, 2, 2, they can't even read, but they can write. Okay. They can even read, but they can write. Very, very unusual options, but it is there. But if you use something like this, 6, 4, 4. What do you mean by that? So that does mean 4 plus 2 is 6. A user can read and write. That's the first. Group can only read. Others can also read. So if user can do everything, execute also 7. 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. So if it is 7 for everyone or 7 here, that means everybody can read, write, and execute. So that's how it works. So let me go back and do some fun activity. So do ls minus l. So this is the hello3.txt. Okay, let it be like that. Let me go to create a shell file. So I'm going to do, so echo, I would say same thing, echo Lakmal. I'm going to put to a shell file called my first shell.sh. Okay, so if I go to run this one, first shell, oh, that's bad. Where's my shell? Yes, there. So let me go to run this. No, I can't do that, guys. So ideally, if it is possible to do a first shell, no, you should be able to run a shell, right? Shell code. Now I can't do that. And normally run the code, you use // // Still, I can't do that. Oh, that's really bad. I do feel bad about it. So let me go and check ls minus l or ls minus lh. Right, so the problem is my shell, I can read, I can write, that is me user, right? But I can execute. So how do I do this now? Okay, you can think with me. So you can say chmod 7. So I can do everything into this, or I can use 1. That is, I can just execute. I can't read anymore. But that's what I want to do. For others, it's 4, 4, 4. I don't want to change that. So I would say first shell. Let's go and see the color now. ls minus lh. Oh, I feel good because it's now executable. That's why the color is different. So let me check this now. Wonderful. So now it's first time I think we ran our own file. So that's a shell, and it's possible for me to execute it. All right. So hope it is clear. All good. Right. So let's see now. So what if I don't want anybody to write to it? So I'll do chmod. Now you can tell me. So if we say, I can say read, write, execute, but I want to read and execute. So that is 5, 4, 4, 4. So first shell. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Still, I think I can, yeah, execute it. So let me vim it. And then let me want to add another statement. So I want to say echo Lakma Rupasingha. Let me check now. So I'm going to save it. To save, I would say escape colon. And you can see down here, I'm going to write WQ. But guys, they are not allowing me. Read only option is set. Add colon to override. So I can't do this. So that is the value, and that is why Linux is really strong, guys. Right? So this is the setup now, right? Even I can make it a lot of fun. I can say chmod 1 foo foo. So what do you mean by that? Right? Any idea? Yeah. So if you go and check now, it's only executable. So because I'm the group of Kali, maybe I can weave it. Let's see. Cat first shell. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have the permission to do even to look at it. So how cool is that? So hope it is clear. And of course, there are many other ways of changing permissions. So I use this method called octal method, where I use numbers. And of course, there are other ways, like you can see, I don't want this to happen. So I want change user to have all permission, RWX. So I can do this as well. My first shell. Okay. So now if I do, I can weave the cat. You know why? Because guys, I have given the permission now read, write, execute for my user. And I can give it to everyone. Okay. Oh, that's my command. So let me type it again, chmod. Not only for the user, I can give it to the user, user group, and all if you want, UGA. RWX for the first shell. Oh, let me do ls minus or ls flag L. Okay, that's how it is. So hope it is clear to all of you. Right. So we have now talked about permissions. And if you want to remove permission, that's also doable. So what you do is basically you use the equal. Now you can use a minus. So now we'll check. Oh, that's a very serious situation. You don't have anything here. Meaning what? Meaning basically that is not accessible by anyone. That's like a ghost file hereafter. That's a ghost file. Okay, we'll take a 2 minutes break. All right, so let's start the discussion again. And if you want to, again, create set of directories, 1, and then mkdir1, 2, mkdir1, 2, 3. Yeah. And you can see, of course, there's a list of directories here. 1, 2, 3. If I wanted to do the change modification recursively, I can do that. 777 for 1. Yeah. So if you do ls minus al, you can see this guy can be accessed by everyone. Even directories is possible. If I do 1 ls minus al, you can see for 2 also similar. If I do 2, yeah, that's also fine. So I hope you are clear with that. You can do the same thing, changing permission. You can do for even directories, and you can do it recursively, which is quite powerful. And of course, not only you can use chmod, there's another range of command. There's another one called chown, that is changing file ownership. So that is also possible. So I'm not going to do that. As an example, you can say own of something to root. That's possible to do. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that you can do. And you can change the group. I'll do only one. So let me create a file, touch not mine, right? And do ls minus lh and see not mine is basically now Kali's, but I don't want this to be with me. So I'm going to root, give it to root, and then not mine. Okay, so I need to do chown with the sudo and give my password, and then ls minus lh. Oh, you can see hereafter not mine is not mine. Okay, that's not mine. So it's with root. So it's out of my range now. Okay, right. So then earlier also we have learned this nice tool called Grep. Let me go back to Grep again. So Grep is a nice or great search tool. So you always man things. So basically it's grep, egrep, fgrep, rgrep. Print lines that match patterns. So basically it's a pattern matcher. That's why I said it's a searching tool. But of course it can be used for many things. So let's look at few examples. I can grep something from file. So let me see Kali, whether I can see the Kali in etc password file. Yeah, so the Kali is, I can find that pattern called Kali in the etc password file. So in this way, if you search, you have to give the pattern and then you have to give the file name. I can see if I wanted to find whether one is anywhere. Okay, there are so many places where the one is in the password file. Okay, that is okay. That is all good. It's a very powerful command, as you can see. Or you can do the other way around. You can echo, or rather, you can do cat etc password. So this is the normal way how I mean, like admins they use this. Okay, same thing, but this is more powerful because this piping is a great method in Linux, guys, because you can do multiple pipes. I can get this one, and I can do a lot of other things like cuts. There are many other commands, eds, cuts, and many other commands. So with piping, you can create a pipeline of commands together, and that's why we use it in this way, not the other way around, right? So yeah, okay. So I can do many search. Yeah. So yeah. So remember, grep itself has loads of ways of writing patterns, regular expressions, and things like that. I can do this and say a line. And oh, it doesn't work. Maybe I will do this. Okay, it's not there. So later on, we look at few types of regular expressions. So I think asterisk is not the one we use. Let me check quickly. So there are other methods. Okay, so this is where it says expressions. Maybe. Yeah, so digits. So there's a lot of things. Okay, all right. Preceding item will be matched to 0 more times. Okay, why did it work? Let's check. It should work. As you can see, preceded with any number of characters, a plus. Let's check it again. Bit odd. It's not getting it. Kali. But anyway, it's okay. But always you can go to Google and say, go to grab regular expressions. Okay, let's see for few of them. Okay, this one is just another very simple one. Okay, yeah, it's a minus I. Oh, that is ignore the case. That's okay. That is, it can be uppercase or you can invert it. All right, minus VN, N for line number. That's not a big deal. Oh, this is okay. This is the way to go ahead. It can be a hat, meaning, yeah, the string. Yeah, yeah, that's what we did. And a dollar. Okay, let me quickly do one, and if it doesn't work, we'll not waste any more time. So yeah, so this should be, can say a dollar. Oh, it did work. Okay, but it didn't show the particular location, maybe a plus. Okay, anyway, so you can have a look at it later on, but there are a few other things that you can do as very powerful. All right, web to here. Okay, so those are regular expressions. We'll not work too much on that right now, but later on in the differentiation, we'll come back to this. Right. So similarly, I can, if I wanted to do another example, if I wanted to get my IP information, IP address, so I do sbin ifconfig. So that's my command. So if I wanted to search for eth0, which I want to know on my Ethernet and basically my IP address. If I want to just to get the IP address is 192.168.249.13. So the best command is second is bin ifconfig, and then guys, I think you know what is happening. I can do a pipe. Okay, let me the pipe is there. So let me do this. I will pipe and send a grep with inet. So yeah, so that will show all the IP addresses. It's search for things, right? It's not a magic tool, but it's a great tool. So it's basically search for the inet word. So hope that is all clear. So use grep as long as possible, as much as possible. And that is a great tool altogether. Okay, then we're going to the locate tool. It finds files by name quickly. So that is great. So then there's a plocate as well. Okay, so these are the new ones. So let's plocate or locate resolve.conf. Resolve.conf is a very important file. I'll tell you why later on, because this has all the information about how do you connect with the outside world. So of course there are few resolve.confs. So as you can see, locate, quickly find it out. Let me see how quick plocate is. So it says it's so fast. Yes, same depending on how much you have to search for. And if you really want to have a look at this file, etc resolve.now, I know the location of the file. Okay, so it gives you the name server DNS information. And if you want, I can go to etc resolve.conf and I can add another name server. So this is actually this 192.168.249 is not a real network ID, but rather this is on a virtual machine. So it has given that. But I can give a name server as, I think you all know, 8.8, right? So that is Google's name server. Okay, so see, this is the same exact thing that I was talking about. Huh? What is it? So I don't have permission to do that, right? So why? Because if you do a ls, you'll understand ls minus l h. I don't have permission to, what I did, resolve. I did the wrong one. Resolve. Okay. You can see I don't have any permission. So if I wanted to do this, the previous command, I need to do a sudo. Yeah, now I think it's possible to do. Let me go back and do it. Name server, I don't think it will add any problem to my network. Okay, so all good. So that's what I really wanted to do. And of course, I can do so much of other cool things. Say, as an example, I can locate the thing called password or the password information. And at the same time, I can do a grep. I locate the file. See, the password file is in many places, or this password thing is in many places in different files. Then I wanted to find out of them the etc password file. So I can do a grep here and etc. Yeah, so I have these two files here. Okay. So apart from that, of course, there are so many other ways that locate can be used. Let me check this one. I'm not really sure whether it will work. I can see all the conf files. Oh, what happened there? Let me check. Locate all. Locate all on. Let me check locate conf. No, it doesn't match. Oh, let me check locate. Yeah, that's working. The pattern should go as, let me check the man page, guys. Locate. Yeah, so here it should say the regex. So this is the regex. Regex, people who don't know about regex, these are like patterns. Yeah, patterns to take POSIX basics regular expression. Oh, regex. Okay. Okay, so let me check locate. r dot conf. Oh, this is it. So yeah, maybe there's some problem with what I'm doing here. Yeah, no worries. So again, just try out again. You can do like previously locate with regular expressions. So don't get disappointed if something didn't work. You can always do yeah. So yeah, so this is very similar which I typed in reg xp. Yeah. Okay, let me check the same. Obviously, it should not work, but I just wanted to know whether this passes. Then later on, we can change what is there. Oh, it does work, which is cool. So let me search for conf.conf. It can be anything, but rather I would like to do it in this way rather than, yep, oh, maybe it's missing, font files are missing. So there's something wrong in that. Anyway, so this is a regular expression, guys. So yeah, so let me check anyway this one. Let me check Kali, anything on the Kali. Oh, there's nothing there. Yeah, so this is any number, any letter, um, and with something with my dot something. Let me create something, vim or touch my. Yep. Now we'll see. No, yeah, something like this. Anyway, that's all right. Maybe I can do something along this line. Okay, let me touch my dot sh. I think that matches in the pattern. And no, not yet. I think there should be something else. Okay. Or maybe I can copy this to my dot sh to one step back. So that is in Kali. Then, no, not yet. ls home dot Kali. We have that file. Oh, so yeah, it is not there. Let me touch the file in home Kali my dot sh. Okay, let me check. Okay, that's there. Let me run my. Still no. Anyway, so you can just try it out. So there should be something missing there. There's a parenthesis there. No? Maybe that's the reason. Anyway, let's see. Let's move on. So now we know how and why locate can be a useful file as well. Okay. Right. So I think that's the end of the first section, which we basically works with the normal utilities in Linux. So let me stop the recording for a moment because I can upload this one.